Hey everybody, we're kicking it up a notch this week. We have this big bad boy. This is the GMC Sierra Elevation with the Duramax diesel engine. Also, I want you to try to see if you can notice anything different. I'm trying out a new camera this week. This is the Fujifilm X-T4. So let me know in the comments below if you like it or maybe not. I've always preferred the GMC trucks over the Chevrolet trucks. I just think they look a little bit better, and this one is no exception. This Elevation is a trim model. It's kind of mid-grade and it gets a monochromatic look. You have this blacked out grille with the big GMC in the front. Standard are LED headlamps. I like this C-shaped LED design for the daytime running lights. Also standard fog lamps. This all comes standard with it. I really like the darkened theme, especially with this color, and there are lots of little accents that really accentuate the style. You get the little Sierra into the headlight. In the Duramax, you have black around there, and of course you have standard 20-inch wheels on the Elevation. You can get an off-road package which would raise the vehicle up even more, but I think that this looks pretty tough as it is. And here's one thing that I talked about on the last few videos with vehicles that have the keyless entry or the keyless go like Mercedes has, is you grab and it unlocks. If you want to lock it, you just hit the button or just touch a point on here. But a lot of vehicles, you can only do that with the front doors. Well, recently there are more and more manufacturers coming out with this system that is accessible with all doors, and this was one of them. So get the kids in, unlock, and or take them out, lock, walk away. That's great. I also like the back of the cab. There is this extension piece where the third brake light is, and it kind of breaks up the shape and looks kind of cool, like a little spoiler. This might be a small thing, but it is a handy thing. A capless fueler here, and there's your AdBlue for your diesel. Coming around to the back, standard LED tail lamps. Also, this is equipped with the trailer package. So you have a 2-inch receiver, you have your 7-pin and your 4-pin connectors here. And one thing that you can't get on the Elevation though is the multi-pro tailgate. You know, that super fancy one that does a million things, a jack of all trades. But you do get a power locking tailgate. There's a button here. Also, you'll notice there are 2 cameras here. One's for the standard backup camera and one's to look down, and that's part of the trailer packaging. So as you see, it's nice and dampened when it comes down, and going up, it has a nice easy assist. It's so easy that my 7-year-old daughter can actually do it. So without that multi-pro tailgate, no big deal. There are some large bumper steps here, and we took the family on a little picnic in the back of this Sierra Elevation, and I was up and down quite a few times. So let me tell you, it is very handy, and they're big enough for large boots. So in you go. I'll just sit down here just so you can see me. This one's equipped with a spray-on bed liner. There's also cargo lamps in the back and also in the third brake light area as well. This is equipped with a power sliding rear window. There is also an electrical outlet in the back bed here. Lift that up and you have 400 watts of power. So yeah, lots of room in the back here, and that tailgate, yeah, zero issue putting that up or down. You know, the past few vehicles I've driven have had some really fancy infotainment systems, like the Mercedes MBUX system with 2 large screens here. You get into this Elevation and drive it, it's a nice change. It really is. It is kind of no frills, but it is very functional. So you have your analog gauges, you have your tach, you have your speedometer. They're not digital. You have a 4-inch display in the center, and that's kind of all you need when you're driving this truck. This has an upgraded 8-inch display. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto do come standard with that. If you choose the Duramax option, you do also have to get a couple convenience packages. But what does it include? Well, first of all, you can't get leather in the Elevation. It comes with cloth seats, but this does have power seats, has heated seats in the front, has a heated steering wheel. You get that upgraded 8-inch display, backup camera, but you cannot get the 360 camera, so the surround view you can't, and you get the trailer camera with that trailer package. Also, you get a new trailer app. I don't have that with me, and plus I don't have a trailer. Down below, you kind of have a very functional heating controls with a digital display, easy to use, and you have some nice large toggles here. Standard USB and USB-C outlets here, 12 volt as well. You have a 110 outlet just like in the back bed. You also have an integrated brake controller if you are towing a trailer, and that comes with the trailer package as well. Beside the steering wheel, you have your mode selector. You can go into a sport mode. I don't know why you would go into a sport mode driving a pickup truck like this, but also your trailer mode, that's going to optimize for your braking and also your transmission for towing a trailer. And then you have your all-wheel drive selector. You have your auto, your 2-high, your 4-high right there. So a lot of utility in this vehicle, a lot of storage spaces on top of the dash, above the glove box, and then you get this console here. Large console. I have a jacket in here as well. I've got my whole bunch of stuff, but this is not a small camera bag. And it fits. So essentially the same size as my Highlander's center console, and that thing is huge. Also, power sunroof is available as an option. This one has it. In the back, pretty standard, lots of room for the kids. We had them riding back there. In behind the seat though, there is an actual compartment in the back seat cushion, which is kind of interesting. You can really hide some things back there if you don't want people to see. And the rear floor, there is a small little hump, but it is very, very minimal. Now, let's go for a drive. It's pretty quiet. For a diesel engine, there's no clunk or anything. It's just kind of like a little purr. No sound, no smell. Modern diesel. It's always a treat whenever I get to drive a pickup truck. I always look forward to it. First of all, because I don't own one, and second, I would love to have one to do a lot of pickup truck duties. So while we had it this week, of course I had to make a trip to the dump. That box, big enough to put all my garbage in to take there, and yeah, it handled that. Of course, that is nothing compared to what it's capable and what it's made for. Also, for a family vehicle, the kids had a lot of room back there, zero issue. It wouldn't be bad to have non-cloth seats though, whether even a leatherette, just to clean up for spills if you're using this for work or family type. I don't know how durable these seats are compared to leather or a leatherette. As for a family vehicle, I threw our bikes back there. We did a picnic. I put a picnic table back there. The 400 watt inverter is really handy if you have one of those plug-in coolers. So anything that up to 400 watts you can plug in there. So that's a pretty good thing. So I've been driving this around town and it is very, very smooth. Of course, this is the diesel. The base model of the Elevation actually comes with a 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's right, a 4-cylinder powering and pulling this big, big truck. I haven't tried it, but obviously it probably does it quite well. It puts out 310 horsepower and 348 pound-feet of torque, all from a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder. But if you do go that route, the problem is you are compromising on your capabilities. If you don't need a lot of heavy-duty towing and payload capacity, then maybe you might want to check that out. It can tow 6,900 pounds. Or if you go into the V8 engines or this Duramax 3-liter turbo diesel, well, of course, you're going to get a lot more capability. This one is rated at 9,000 pounds for towing, and you can go all the way up to 12,000 pounds of maximum towing capacity for this vehicle. So this Duramax puts out 277 horsepower. Yeah, that's actually less than the 4-cylinder, but 460 pound-feet of torque, which is equal to the big V8 that you can get in the Sierra. And that torque, of course, comes on right at the very bottom. And that's the best thing about diesels, regardless if it's from this Sierra or any diesels. The torque is just, it's not the same type of torque that you would get from an electric motor, let's say for an electric car. I call it, it's towing and cruising torque. So we are on the freeway now, and let's go up to, we are at 100 kilometers per hour, and we haven't switched into top gear yet. Now we have. Our tach is saying about 1250 RPM. You can hear how quiet it is, and it's effortless. We're going up a hill right now, doing 106 kilometers per hour. My right toe is barely pressing the accelerator at all. It's absolutely effortless, and it's very, very quiet. We're in 2-wheel drive, as I mentioned. There is 4-high, and there's an automatic all-wheel drive setting on this. This is equipped with a 10-speed automatic transmission, which definitely aids in fuel economy and also makes it smoother. You have a lot of gear ratios to go through. Don't let that 277 horsepower fool you though. When you put your foot into this, it really, really gets up and moves. My wife was driving this and she was very surprised. She's never really driven a large full-size pickup truck, and she was like, this is so easy to drive. And that is the thing that I'm trying to convey to you with this diesel engine. It's just easy, easy, easy. Okay, there we go. Auto start, stop. And back on. It's not completely seamless, but it's not a huge event that happens when it comes back on. The low and mid-range torque is almost addicting on this. So, this is the part that blows me away though. I've been driving this normally, mainly in the city, running errands, and I've averaged in almost a whole week of driving. Right now we're showing 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers. I've been averaging anywhere from 11.5 to 12.4. That is pretty amazing in miles per gallon. By the way, that's around 20 miles per gallon. Let's compare this, for instance, to our own Toyota Highlander hybrid. Believe it or not, we get 10.5 liters per 100K with that. And that is a lot smaller vehicle than this. It's a lot lighter, and it definitely doesn't have the capability of this vehicle, yet they're almost equaling each other for fuel economy. So that one really makes me go, wow. I like how they've packaged this trim level, the elevation. You get all the good things, but you don't get a lot of the bells and whistles that some people just don't need, like the head-up display, or maybe the wireless charging, or the off-road package, let's say. Is it good to have? Sure, but do I need it? Probably not. So why pay for it? But if you do need that off-road package, you do get the off-road suspension. You ride up higher, you get jacked up there, you get skid plates, and you get a 2-speed transfer case. So you get the 4-high and the 4-low. This only has the 4-high. The ride on the Sierra is very, very respectable, especially for everyday driving. I've had zero issue about it. Of course, if you hit some large bumps or undulations, you're really going to feel it a lot more because you don't have any payload in the back. If you load that up, put some weight on, or pull something, it's definitely going to make a difference. I really wish I had something to pull. I have really enjoyed my time in this Sierra this week, especially since it has this Duramax engine. I'm a big fan of the diesel, but it just makes driving so much more enjoyable, so effortless for driving a big vehicle like this. Now, if I were to try to find or nitpick on a couple things, one would be, if you want some of the more advanced safety driving features, such as lane departure warning, blind spot warning, or rear cross traffic alert, you're gonna have to buy that in a package. And in this day and age, there's a lot of manufacturers that are including all of those as standard equipment, and even things like radar cruise control. And here's one small thing, and sometimes it's the small things that make a difference, like that capless fuel filler that I do like, is if you want to roll the windows up or down, you have an auto up down on the driver's side. By the way, I'm going on a torn up road right now, so it's really bumpy. Auto up down for the driver's side, but not for any other windows. There is a button on the dash for auto down for all of them. So one hit, they all go down. But to put them back up, I have to hold all three buttons together. Why couldn't they just make them all auto up and down? So that's it for our on-road driving portion of the review. Let's go wrap it up now. The Sierra Elevation starts at just over $52,000, and what's interesting is that I built one on the GMC Canada website, and it came out to about $66,000. Just like this. So that's the Elevation with the Duramax diesel engine and the 4x4 and all those packages that we talked about. But when I went to the summary, there are some actual very generous discounts, and that's actually very interesting. This actually went from in the $66,000 range to about the high 50s, which is about the same price range as some mid-size SUVs, kind of almost like my Highlander, a little bit more, but it really has me thinking. I could fit my entire family in here with lots of room, I have lots of utility, I can tow something, and I get comparable fuel economy. It really makes me think. As always, if you have a comment, leave it below, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. See you on the next video.